Overwatch 2 is finally doing something about Zimmers, and I'm going to be reading that from this post over here that Aaron Keller has made. New director's take addressing unapproved peripherals on consoles. So let's not waste any time and get straight into it. So it starts off by saying, hey everybody, senior game producer Adam Macy over here. Might have butchered the pronunciation. My sincerest apologies, but getting through the introductions, they're basically talking about what are unapproved peripherals, like what is not allowed from an input perspective on console Overwatch. This is mostly about console Overwatch. I know there's a lot of console Overwatch fans out there. I used to play on PS4 quite a bit myself. So, you guys know how it is to play against somebody with like the Ximming experience and they have the aim assist. It's ridiculous. So Blizzard goes on to say that our goal is for Overwatch 2 to be a great experience no matter what platform you are playing on. The game feels best when matches are close and competitive and everybody plays on a leveled playing field. To help achieve this, we have tailored the game experience on console by adding console-specific features such as aim assist, which helps bridge the difference in precision of aim between a mouse and controller. Unfortunately, there are some players on console who have been using this device that allows them to use a mouse and keyboard while tricking the console into thinking the inputs are coming from a controller. While some use different peripherals for accessibility purposes, some players take advantage of the aim assist while using peripherals that were never intended to benefit from this feature. For example, we will call these devices unapproved peripherals. Today we're going to be looking at how we're going to be detecting the use of unapproved peripherals and the actions we'll be taking against it to level the playing field for all players. Before I go on and read the rest, guys, like top 500 GM and champion in console is basically not even actual console players. It's just people, like they've said, sticking in their mouse and keyboard. The process is basically called Ximming. I'm just trying to, summarize it quickly, but they basically have a way to plug in their mouse and keyboard, and, it gives an extremely unfair advantage against true console players who are actually using, the controller, the joysticks, etc., or whatever they're called nowadays, dual sticks, whatever. But my point is that in a way it's a soft form of cheating because it's not meant to be played in that way, and you clearly have a benefit with the aim assist as well. So, anybody who has played console Overwatch, I used to play for a couple of years with my friends on the side. This is something that they definitely need to crack down upon because the entirety of the GM and top 500 and the champion lobbies in console Overwatch is basically people using mouse and keyboard, which at that point is ridiculous. Now, what does Blizzard want to do? So they're going to detect it. So figuring out which players are using unapproved peripherals has been a challenge for us. These devices are designed in a way that the consoles are unaware of them and often have anti-detection features designed to make them more elusive to catch. We've been carefully studying these devices to ensure that we have high confidence in our ability to detect who is using them. While we will not go into specific detail on how we would detect it, that's perfectly fine because they don't want to give away how their system works. Otherwise, the people making this stuff will find a way around it. He says, we can say that our detection has already been in place for multiple seasons, passively gathering data for us to analyze. Now that we've gathered enough data that we need, we can finally talk about how we will tackle these issues. Based on our data from the previous seasons, usage of unapproved peripherals is highly apparent in high-ranked play, typically at GM or champion rank. Okay, so that's obvious. While the usage of unapproved peripherals between bronze and plats is very rare. For this reason, the actions we take will be primarily targeted to help ensure fair play at the higher ranks. A quick disclaimer to users with accessibility needs: it is important to us that Overwatch 2 is accessible to as many players as possible. We recognize that for a few players, the use of an unapproved peripheral may be a necessary component for their controller setup. We've done our utmost to ensure that the player with accessibility needs will be less likely to get triggered by our detection. If a player with accessibility needs is detected, we have tailored our actions so that these players will continue playing Overwatch 2. So people that actually have accessibility problems and they're using, some form of a, odd controller setup or whatever, Blizzard's going to, not really mind them because they get it. But people that are definitely using this for competitive advantage purposes, they are definitely going to be taking a slap to the face. So what is Blizzard doing? I really want to know what's their approach to all of this. So removing unapproved peripherals from competitive play. Starting in Season 11, players who detect using an unapproved peripheral on console will be actioned in two phases. The first time a player is detected, they'll be restricted from competitive on console for 1 week. Oof. Okay, that's very harsh, but I like that. Players will still have access to quick play during this time. If they cease using these unapproved peripherals, the restriction will eventually expire and they'll be able to resume playing competitive. Okay, however, if the use of the unapproved peripheral continues, not only will the player be restricted from competitive on console, but they'll be forced to play with other mouse and keyboard players when playing quick play for the entire season. Oh my god, they put them in the naughty corner. Additionally, these players will no longer have access to the aim assist feature, They're welcome to continue playing Overwatch 2, but they'll be playing against players who have a similar control setup to their own. Oh my god, so Overwatch literally just made... They just made like a bad boy corner for these people, but isn't this going to mess with queue times? I mean, you know, like it's a little bit weird, but okay, let's see what else is there. Taking immediate action. What about the use of unapproved peripherals before Season 11? Over the next few weeks, there'll be permanent account bans against those who are the most severe abusers of the unapproved peripherals. These actions will be targeted towards high-ranked players who have been reported by others and where our data clearly shows an unapproved peripheral. A reminder that as per Blizzard in-game conduct, automating any facet of the game or engaging in any activity that creates an unfair advantage is considered cheating. For console players, these unapproved peripherals, why don't they just say mouse and keyboard, who do not want their account banned, the only way to evade these bans is to cease using an unapproved peripheral right now. Oh god, they're doubling down, huh? There will be no other warnings. Yeah, get him, Blizzard. The future of mouse and keyboard for console. We recognize that many players use unapproved peripherals to enable input devices they simply prefer overall. So we have started discussing, whether we can add mouse and keyboard support to consoles in a way that doesn't give these players an unfair advantage over their controller counterparts. Right now, for competitive console players, will play in a separate pool from PC. So in order to allow console players who would like to use mouse and keyboard legitimately, we would make sure that they'd be able to play in competitive matches only with other MNK users without the benefit of an aim assist. Oh my god, so they're basically trying to bully those people into proper PC lobbies. I'm actually kind of fine with that, but that actually might ruin match quality just a little bit. I don't know. Final thoughts. We're committed to making Overwatch 2 a fair game for everybody, regardless of what platform or input that you may want to use. These changes are a step in the direction of leveling the playing field. We'll continue to evolve our detection and against unapproved peripherals and other means of unfair play. Keep an eye out for how our efforts are progressing in future Defense Matrix updates. Thanks for reading. Let's make a great game. Okay, you know what? Like, in all honesty, guys, this is actually some pretty nice changes, especially for the console community. I understand they've been suffering from this the most, where, one of the reasons why people were abusing Pharah and Mercy so much back in like the days of competitive Overwatch 1 on console was simply because Pharah was one of those few heroes that, given the nature of console Overwatch, she was the only one that could somewhat play around hit scans, just because playing a lot of other DPS options was difficult when just using your controller up against somebody who had a mouse and keyboard. So the higher up you went, the more it felt like you were getting punished for being good at the game with a controller. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. I applaud Blizzard for really doing their best over here to try and crack down on all of this. I'm really interested to see what they do next. I want to hear your guys' opinion down below. What do you think? Is this the right step forward from Blizzard's part? And if so, what do you think they need to do to change up the scene over for console Overwatch? I think maybe them creating a pool of players where if these people sees like they don't want to stop using mouse and keyboard, them being forced to play with actual PC players, giving them a slap of reality of what it's like to face actual, other mouse and keyboard players, might set them straight to just play on a controller. I don't know. Like, I'm really interested to see what Blizzard has in mind with all of this, because there's definitely, there's ups and downs to everything that they're trying to do over here. The ups are that this will help match quality specifically for console players with controllers. But if they're going to start weeding these players out and just forcing them to play with other like mouse and keyboard players on console, isn't this going to cause more queue time problems, especially depending on the ranks and where these people will go? Like, that's still I don't know how many people are doing it, but isn't that still a portion of the player base that, they might like cause some queue time issues? I don't know. We're already seeing some queue time problems for the past 2 seasons here and there, irregardless of the rank, just a little bit, not too much though. But I am curious, like, I'm happy that they're doing something about it, but I just don't see why Blizzard just doesn't give them a warning, suspend them, and then ban them. Like, there's no need to, okay, we'll still let you play, No, like, I mean, in my opinion, the way I would do it would be, I suspend them for 1 week as a warning. Okay, they can still play quick play. If they continue to do it in competitive, of all places, they would receive a ban for an entire season. And then if they still do it, well, that's a complete account ban, in my opinion. At that point, it's just kind of like, hey, man, take it easy. I mean, the chat report system is that harsh. So, in my opinion, maybe we can be a little bit more harsher with this, because I'm not going to lie, they are a little bit soft towards these quote-unquote cheaters to begin with. So, anyways, everybody, that's it from me and my opinion on all of this. I really want to hear what you guys think down below. Do you think this is the right step forward, or what would you do to crack down on these type of quote-unquote cheaters? With that being said, guys, I will see you in tomorrow's video, where I will cover the report system one final time. And if you're interested in that, of course, as always, hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel for free. If you want to support the channel financially, please do use the super chat down below. it means the world to me. See you in the next video.